All righty then. I want to talk a little NFL draft, a little football, a little.
We are all here to do what Falcons do.
Look at that!
So, what do you want to start here? Do you want to start with the Falcons draft? Do you want to start with the draft at large?
Yes. I want to start with the Falcons draft because that's the most important draft for us because we spend money on this product.
And they got their money like the other day.
Yeah, they did. Tuesday, I think, or Monday.
Yeah,
I don't know. I saw the withdrawal, and so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I was like, I guess. But you know what? Once the payment stopped, then you're like, oh, football season's here.
Yes. Isn't it a great feeling?
It is because we're going through this really well. May's already here. We're going to get through the playoffs, and then we'll be in the finals for June. Then we'll get the draft for the NBA. We'll struggle with a little bit of baseball and some all-star break, home run derby, 4th of July cookouts, stuff like that. And then we'll be like, oh, shit, training camp's over yonder. And then we'll get training camp, and then we're talking about, oh, shit, Hall of Fame game. Then from Hall of Fame game, we're like, hey, are you going to the first preseason game? We're playing such and such. Hey, all right, now it's the second preseason game. Hey, now we're on the preseason game 3. Hey, we got a week till the regular season. Which road game are we doing this year? It snowballs. This thing snowballs. And the NFL is the greatest at keeping themselves relevant throughout the entire year because guess what? Next week, we get the schedule release to go along with it. I can't wait.
Yeah, this Draymond and Shooter thing is great. Shooter's a little dirty. What's he, Frenchman?
He's German.
German. I was gonna say German first. He's a little dirty. Terry Fontenot, what did you do? Let's see. Pick one. We went Bijan Rob. Whoa! I do not want Skip Bayless talking on this broadcast. Pick one. We go Bijan Robinson, running back. Mm-hmm. University of Texas. Round 2, we go Matt Bergeron, offensive tackle, Syracuse.
Hey, round 3, Zach. Before you get to that, fun fact on Bergeron. What I loved about the pick. If you remember in our group, I said, hey, we've got 3 positions we're targeting. And literally those were our next 3 picks. I said edge, corner, lineman, and I said specifically interior lineman, which is what he's going to be the guard. Okay. But fun fact, they showed I don't know why the Cowboys had cameras in their draft room and they showed it. Their pick, they took the D tackle out of Michigan, but it was out of him and Bergeron. That's who they were trying to decide. So as far as I'm concerned, for one, Jerry's got a great track record of taking no linemen. So if Jerry liked him, I like him. 2, that means that man had a first-round grade. And obviously we traded up to get him early in the second round. We went up like 6 or 7 picks to get him. So I just love it. But continue. I love that pick. I love the pick. I really did.
Zach Harrison, edge, Ohio State. They got a great track record of producing edges.
Yeah.
Clark Phillips, cornerback, Utah. That might be the best pickup.
Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, consensus All-American. 5'9", he's a small guy. But boy, he's clearly a ball hawk, and I like that.
Rui just got you 2 more. DeMarco Helms, safety, Alabama, and then Javon Gwynn, guard out South Carolina. Go ahead and tell you. Our 2 round 7 picks, don't really care about them. Hopefully they're good.
I like that we got a safety out of Alabama that started every game the last 2 years, though.
I think at this point in the draft, if you're draft on pedigree, who went to the big programs, who was a 5-star, who was a 4-star, maybe they didn't live up to expectations in college. That's where you get funky, like after round 5, or excuse me, after round 4.
Clap your hands. He said, let's get funky.
But let's go back to our first round pick. Bijan Robinson. I don't think I was on the record, but I was on the record in the locker room saying that we would not draft running back at 8. I said that because I thought, based on the 2 years of Arthur Smith being the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons, that he believed that he was coaching his run scheme. And he said, hey, I believe in the scheme more than I believe in a great player to run my scheme.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, take a step back, you look at our draft picks. We've gone after freaks. Kyle Pitts, freak. Drake London, physical freak, not fast.
I don't understand.
I mean,
why.
yeah,
Why is everybody? I get it. Garrett Wilson won Rookie of the Year. Why is it that I think that Drake London is just as good, if not better, than Garrett Wilson? That's just my opinion.
I don't think Drake London has the ability to take the top off of a defense. He's a 5 catches for 75 yards guy.
And a touch.
Hopefully.
No, and a touch. He's that type of guy. Look at his numbers at USC. I get it, Pac-12. But, like, the guy played in, like, 8 games and had, ridiculous fucking stats. Is that Rui?
He's getting your points.
Yeah, I'm going to get him.
But anyways, so with Bijan, I'm optimistic to see what he's going to do. And hopefully he's a big play threat. And from everything that I've heard and seen about him, he's more than a running back. He's a weapon. So if we're putting him in the slot, and we talked about this before the draft, what does it look like when you have Cordero and Bijan on the field? And what does that defense think to do as far as their personnel? So, again, curious to see what it's going to look like. I'm glad we got a great player, but I'm not going to lie to you. I would have taken Jalen Carter. In a vacuum, I would have taken Jalen Carter. I do not know what the conversations were like with Jalen Carter and what the Falcons' ability to keep him out of trouble, keep him on the straight and narrow in their locker room in the city of Atlanta, where he already has ties as a UGA player who has shown some reckless behavior.
This shit is getting out of hand. I didn't mean to cut you. I'm just
no. I was thinking the same thing. It's 78 to 102. It's 102.
But now they're just shooting threes just to shoot them.
Oh yeah, that's 3 by Steph was crazy and it went in.
That's what I'm saying. They're just shooting them to shoot them now. I mean, the game's over, but they're still shooting.
Oh, is that Steph's mom with the family? No, I know she's not with the dad and his.
Hold on, no, that looked like a white chick. I know his mom's pretty fair skinned, but
yeah, I didn't see the face. I just saw the back of the head.
Why can't mom and dad, even at this point in life, still do this stuff?
I mean, they can, but you remember the petty shit they pulled like last year during the playoffs?
Yeah, they had their people. I don't.
Yeah. Yo, get Sam Darnold out of my screen.
I told you. I told you it was Sam though. I was like that's Sam Darnold. Next to him. Sam looks like such a bitch, man.
And Kittle's talking shit. Like they don't even got the cool courtside seats though. They got the under the rim seats. That makes me feel a little bit better.
They're not under the rim. They're on the side.
Ish, nah, but they're not like nah. They're under the basket.
No, they're not. They're on the side. They're on the side. They're just not. They're not by the coaches. Who got teed up? LeBron?
I think so. I think he was mad about them not calling that foul on his 3.
I'd really like it if he stopped doing that, unless they just don't want to score any points at all. I took another bet, so that I don't like this. I need the points to be at a minimum because I figured that they would blow doors here in the second half, but like I also expected the Lakers kind of to not score like a lot of quick scoring, and that's what they're doing. They're doing a lot of quick scoring. So hopefully, maybe the second half is just slow burn offense. You know?
There's so much officiating going on. Back to football, though.
Yeah.
This game's not good. What are your thoughts on our draft? I think let me close. Let me put a bow on it. I think we got an impact player, and I think we addressed our needs. I'm curious to see what that looks like. It lets me know that we're going to give Desmond Ridder a chance to be the guy and see what Desmond Ridder can be.
I got my Hashimura point thing, by the way. But nonetheless, yes, I think that we got arguably maybe the most, and I hate putting titles on this type of stuff. We probably got the player that was most likely to always achieve. Like we got the guy that no matter what was pretty much going to be really good. LeBron's going to get thrown out.
Yeah, drunk fan, tell LeBron to get attacked. Yes. What about to give him 3 shots?
I don't think it was a foul. And
I don't
honestly, Darvin Ham should listen to LeBron and tell him to. Okay, they are going to review it. I was about to say I didn't think that was a foul.
Yeah, bro, he was already falling. Like you could tell he was gonna fall. Like when he took off, when he started shooting. Bron didn't bump him.
Yeah, it wasn't a foul. It wasn't a foul. I love this stuff. But
the drunk fans.
Tee his ass up.
Shut up.
They're rich California people, man. Let them live.
Hey,
but,
yeah, and they're paying 68% fucking income tax.
We're talking about, hey, when guys are sitting right there, those are guys that like they're not like rich as fuck, but like they're making $700K a year. You know what I mean? Like now, granted, they live in San Francisco, so that's about $250, $300 elsewhere, but they still make really good money, and they're can't afford to live there, and they can afford to get seats. So
and they're tech bros.
Right. They have something. Hey, that guy owns a staffing company that cleans the buildings. You know what I mean? That's what type of contract he's got. I'm telling you, he isn't even the techie. He knows the techies, but he ain't the techie. But he still benefits from the tech shit. So, like, you know, the Google guys contacted him, and he can email the head dude.
Bro, I got a friend who worked at Google for a few years. She's in law school now, and I think she's going to be heading back to Google.
You have women friends?
Huh?
I said, you have women friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't have women friends? Well, should I say homegirl?
I didn't say that you couldn't. There's a lot of women out here that don't think that men can have women friends.
Oh, well, I think
there are women out here. There are women out here.
I'm trust me, I'm hip.
Wow, they still gave this. What a bad call.
No, man. They're just making sure that we get what we need. We can't have LA go up 2-0.
That was a bad call.
I agree. This is Moses Moody. This is Moses Moody versus LeBron James. If it's questionable, you err on the side of LeBron James, not Moses Moody.
He's like, you want to be like that ref in that Michael Jordan clip? He's like, it was a fat. He's like, it's 2 hands, Michael. He's like 55. He's like, I didn't see it, Michael. He's like, but I believe you. I believe you, Michael. This nigga got up on Michael Jordan. He's like, but I believe you.
Hey, the fact that you get like a clip like that isolated, we get to hear it. E40 got that shit on though.
The Burberry.
Bro, it's I know it's not that chilly up there for that. He probably stinks underneath.
It might be 57, 58.
You know,
hot here right now.
That's not 57, 58.
I tell you what, because we got time today. Hold on,
and we're inside. Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna look up San Francisco's weather.
Our football slate is light.
It is. Hey man, it's 52 degrees out there right now. 58 was the high, 49 is the low. So actually, it was. Now that's still an overkill for that type of weather, even with wind.
And what does it feel like inside?
Damn, did they just score again?
Yeah. Because AD threw a deep pass, and then Moses Moody just,
I'm going to lose the other bet, but I'm going to hit my other one, so I'm okay. But I don't like this because the other one paid more. And I could have just taken Golden State instead of doing this over-under shit.
One of these days, you're going to learn to go with what you know.
I do know what I know, but if you think it's going to be a blowout, the thought is the Lakers aren't going to be scoring points. Or more importantly, the Warriors aren't going to go for 43 after going for 41 in the second quarter? Why would they outdo themselves? I get it, best third quarter team in the league, but why is it that we just got a mirror of the second quarter and the third quarter? Like, the thought would be, oh, the Lakers scored 13 and the Warriors had 38. Like, that would have worked. Like, that would have been more than fine for me. Instead, the Lakers still gave you 24, and then Golden State gave you 43. We got a 77-point quarter. That's unbelievable, bro. Like, that's unbelievable. I would have to have under 33.5 points in this half to hit this. But it doesn't matter. I have basically already hit the other bet because Rui Hachimura has already got it, and the Dallas Stars are up 2-0. So unless the Dallas Stars, smoke it, give up some ass, then I'm good. I mean, I'm good.
So Bryce Young with 1.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Stroud goes 2.
Which I guess was a shocker to some, but not to me.
Will Anderson goes 3 to the Texans.
Shocker trade up for sure. I don't think anyone saw them trading up to get him.
Apparently, Daniel Jeremiah had it in his last mock draft. Here's what I'll say.
I like the big dick move because they didn't see an impact player coming out next year in the draft defensively that was as good as Will Anderson. So why not get 2 of the top 3 players in the draft this year?
I don't think I like Will Anderson as much as everyone else does.
I love him.
But
I think he's Von Miller.
But if that's what you believe in, I say go for it because you have the draft capital to do it. When you traded Deshaun Watson, it gave you draft picks. And so often when we talk about drafts, we talk about teams, we talk about draft picks. But draft picks don't win games, players do. So if you believe in a player, make the move for the player. Secondarily, I think Nick Caserio is trying to keep his job.
Mm-hmm.
And the most important thing, the one thing that's more important than winning games is keeping your job. Just like politicians. First job is to get reelected. Can't do politics if you ain't got a job in politics. Can't be a GM if you're not on a team. Same boss. So I think self-preservation came in there because I can't imagine the coach with the 6-year contract was just like, hey, yeah, let's just move up and get maybe. Because the way it was painted to me was you didn't trade up for Will Anderson, you traded up for CJ Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
You have to attach that value to the quarterback, not the end, because obviously if you take Anderson first, the price to move up to get to 3 to get Stroud is higher because somebody else sees the quarterback there. But if you take Stroud, you get him off the board, you have less teams wanting to move up, so it drives the price down on the move up to get the player that you actually wanted at 3.
Uh-huh. These are facts.
Then we have AR-15 going 4, which, I mean, the guy only played like 4 games at the University of Florida. But for him to go 4, it's really how crazy is this parlay, Pete? Have we started to overvalue the quarterback position too much in football? When AR-15 can go 4, oh yeah, it's over. We got Tristan Thompson in the game.
Hey, is this his first action as a Laker?
Yeah, we got Tristan Thompson, Lonnie Walker, Malik Beasley,
Rui's still out there.
Who?
Rui is still out there. Think about it. They were like, plus 105 for Rui to have 5 points. Oh, 4.5, over 4.5 plus 105 for the second half. I'm like,
I
don't get it. Look, this is where you got to start. When you get a bank roll on here to where you can do dumb bet. They're not even dumb bets, but you can just kind of press some shit. You got to take advantage of it, and this is an example of that.
But how does Anthony Richardson go 4? Trey Lance go 3 a couple years before. Lamar Jackson go 32 in 2018, just 5 years ago, where he won a Heisman, and his season after his Heisman year, he was just as productive and they say, hey, he needs to show us a little bit more before we take this plunge on him. But AR can go 4. Lance can go 3. Shit, Will Levis went, what, 34? I'm not, I don't get it.
I get it. It makes sense.
But is having a bad a quarterback who may not be good that worth that much?
I think that in the case of the Colts, this is how you got to look at it. They've been haunted by that position since Andrew Luck retired. And ultimately, not only was that pick kind of not a, hey, we need to win immediately type thing, but it was this guy might have the highest ceiling of all the guys because of his freak athleticism. He still went to Florida. Like, you know what I mean? Like, good football players go there, right? Like, so it's not – I think that the AR-15 pick – I wish that they had a vet. Like, I'm not saying that they should trot Matt Ryan back out there, which obviously they won't be, but, like, I wish they had a good veteran quarterback, a guy that has accomplished a lot in the league, because they're not going to be good no matter what. But now, Gardner Minshew's not – he's an okay backup to have. Like, but in reality, Anthony Richardson is starting from day one. I promise you he's QB1 week 1. Gardner Minshew is not going to be the starting quarterback in week 1. So they're going to throw him out there, and I'm interested to see how that looks. Like, Josh Allen even at least got to sit, and he's the similar player in terms of, man, look at this freak. Like, this guy's like this big. He can run. He's got a cannon of an arm. Like, I wish that he could sit for his development as a fan of the black quarterback type situation and then Indianapolis being a place where they've never had that. Brissett did start the 1 year, but that was on short notice. I promise you they did not want him to be the quarterback. They want this dude to be the quarterback. So I wish that he had that veteran presence for himself, but in reality, I don't know how it's going to work out. But I do think this. Anthony Richardson was a freak, and I think that he can come in and do some things, especially because he's got a good running game. Now, the question is the offensive line going to be what it was 2 years ago as opposed to last year? That's going to be key to his development in general. Will he have any time to even throw? And if not, is he just going to look like Justin Fields year 1 and 2, where he's more running the ball anyways, and he might throw for 150 yards. And then he'll have that one game where he does throw for 200 and, 2-3 touchdowns, and his completion percentage is 67% or something. Like, is it going to be like that? But he'll have a couple 100-yard rushing games or something.
For his future as a productive NFL quarterback, I wish he would have came back to Florida for a year.
Agreed. He didn't play enough ball.
But he went 4. So you got to leave.
Yeah, if they're telling you you're this dude, why? Because he could easily have came back and been like, think about Matt Barkley. You remember Matt Barkley. Matt Barkley was projected like the first pick. He was projected, but Liner still went top 10. But, like, Barkley was projected to go 1, and he went in the 4th round. Like, and then he went to a quarterback room that had Nick Foles and Michael Vick. So it was like, you're probably not.
No, I'm sorry. You're talking Barkley. I'm thinking Jimmy Clausen, who
he went first pick, 2nd round to Carolina. He still even got put in a position he just sucked. Matt Barkley, though, dropped. Matt Barkley was supposed to be the 1st overall pick. He came back to USC, fell to the 4th round. He was a 4th round pick, and he's been a scavenger type of guy. He's a Nathan Peterman these days. Like, he's one of those guys. Like, oh, I know that guy's name. Like, I know who he is. But
USC had like Carson Palmer in our lifetime.
Matt Leinart. Mark Sanchez. Sam Darnold.
Carson Palmer is the one they talk about when they talk to the young quarterbacks about what you want to be in the NFL.
In the NFL. But Matt Leinart is exactly who you wanted to be for college. Now, granted, he had a ton of talent. I mean, Lindale White, Reggie Bush. He had Dwayne Jarrett, right? Dwayne Jarrett was there with Matt Leinart. Yeah. Dwayne Jarrett, think about it, Dwayne Jarrett, guy that flamed out in the league.
The other Steve
Mike Williams, right? They went to Detroit. When they drafted for the third straight year a wide receiver in the top 5. Like, you're just like, I don't understand. I don't get it, Detroit. You got Calvin Johnson, you got Roy or was it Carlos Rogers or somebody? They drafted like 3 wide receivers in the first round, like the back-to-back years, bro. That shit was crazy. But that's why McMillan got fired too. I mean, idiot. But you know what's funny? You brought up a good point about the Terry thing when we were faking the Terry, and I know I'm kind of all over the place with this, but
it's fine.
With the Terry thing, you also were like the fantasy draft. You're like basically, if we were the ones asking the questions, well, Terry, some would say that you're drafting like it's a fantasy draft as opposed to an NFL draft, considering the glaring holes that we've had as a franchise for pretty much a decade plus. And you're still picking skill position players. Now, granted, this is what I will say. At least we're taking the skill position players that appear to be the can't misses at them. Drake London, some people questioned it, but with Pitts for sure, and then with Bijan, I think that we've got guys that are literally freaks. Like, they're freaks. Those guys are freaks.
Well, here's the thing, right? Because you want to go back to that 2021 NFL draft, his first draft. Arthur's first year, he said he wanted to win with Matt Ryan. Got it, cool. You know what? You need to get ready to move off of your damn quarterback because we know he's about to go.
Right.
So we drafted at – what did we draft at? 4. So here's who's on the board when we're drafting at 4. Jamar Chase, I get why we didn't make that move because we still had – no, we didn't have – we moved off of Julio to Tennessee. That's right. But we had Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Pat Surtain, Devonta Smith, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater. Oh, golly. We'll stop there because I think those are the only people who you would actually consider could the Falcons make a play for.
Okay.
And I look at Justin Fields. Really, Justin Fields. And we may be right by not taking Justin Fields in that spot. But I don't know if the thought process was right. Because that's right, because we moved Julio. We moved Julio after the draft. Mm-hmm. Because we were thinking, I think we were doing this podcast at that point. Or maybe you just came on.
We've been doing this podcast since 2020.
Shit, yeah, this will be our third full football season, won't it?
Yes, it will.
But yeah, we were thinking that we were going to go Pitts, Calvin, and Julio. And we were like, yeah, we can suck the last bit of juice out of Matt Ryan. Pause. I paused that one. I can't let that one go. Pause. But no, we thought we were going to just get the last little bit out of Matt Ryan that year. With giving him these 3 weapons, we go, I see it.
It made sense, but did it not make sense? It was like, man, if Matt can be as good as he was the year before, does it not make sense? At least offensively, it made sense. Like,
if he could be 35,
we were still gonna suck dick. But like,
if he could be 35 to 3,700 yards type quarterback, 28 touchdowns.
13 picks.
14 picks. He probably, if he plays at that level with those weapons, it probably gets him closer to 4,000 yards than you think just because you believe in the weapons. You probably add another touchdown or 2.
But the thing is, what we didn't know was Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot's plan, or what type of play caller. We knew that Arthur Smith clearly liked to run the ball. Like, we knew that. But, like, at the same time, what else did we really know about that, you know?
And here's the thing. I don't know if we know Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot's plan. I think I know Arthur Smith's plan.
A little bit more now. I think I know exactly what they want to do. I think they want to create. They want to create an offense to where we have like the best running game in the NFL, and that we are still a threat to pass it, even though that's not our bread and butter. Like, because we've got these imposing guys, and the thought would be that we're never going to be playing from behind, and that's kind of which we saw what happened this year when we did, because we were pretty much most of these games we were always in. But the Cincinnati game, when you get 14, when somebody puts 14 on you, like in the first half of the first quarter, now you got to abandon the fucking run. If you don't have a legitimate quarterback, you're done.
Well,
like, you have to be able to answer not with the field goal, but a touchdown. You need to go back down to 7 so you can keep running. And I think that's where the Desmond Ridder factor is going to come in this season. And both of us pretty much feel the same. We know how we feel about this. We think that Desmond Ridder is a backup quarterback in this league. And, you know, a lot of other people might not agree with us, right?
Yeah. He's a backup.
He's a backup in this league. I think he's a good backup too. Like I said, I'm not saying he's Chase Daniel's 15-year backup. But like you said, 8-year guy where he's serviceable. He could be like Nick Mullins. And Nick Mullins actually can sling it. But, like, he could be like a Nick Mullins. I don't think Nick Mullins is in the league now. Like, nobody's picked him up this offseason. But he could be like Nick Mullins, a guy that could come in and you're like, man, this guy's got a little spunk to him. You know, I think he could be that guy.
Man, look here. Desmond Ridder. Here's the thing, and we talk about this. I'm rooting for Desmond Ridder. I just don't think he got it. You know, I was having a conversation with a loved one today, and the conversation ended up not going so great. We're talking about sewing because the wife is getting her dress. Had to get her dress hemmed for the wedding, the Boink's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me how much it costs for it to get hemmed. She told me it's like $30. I was talking to someone else about it. I said, man, these seamstresses are just taking money. I'm like, how long does it take to hem a dress? Does it take an hour?
I don't know. We don't get dresses hemmed, so we don't know, right?
But I'm sitting there, I'm like, is that really $30 worth of labor? I get you can charge it, and if you can charge it, if people will pay it, I'm with it.
Possibly. I think you got to think about it. How many suits have you had altered?
I have never had to pay for it. So
I've had some suits, not many altered. Like, you wore that suit. Do you remember? You wore one of my suits, which you can have it, by the way, when you come back up here. I know you said it fits you really well. Because, see, we're about the same height, but honestly, I'm a little thicker now, like in this area. And actually, my legs might be a little bit longer than yours, too. But, like.
Yeah, maybe. But that's
the waist more. What are you? You're a 32 in the waist, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a legit. Yeah, I might be a 34.
I'm a 34. I'm a 34 in the waist, and I'm a 34 in length. Even though they had it as a 36, 32 for me for my pants, and I was like, okay, whatever. But I'm a 34 in the waist with a belt on. Now, maybe that's – I don't know. But nonetheless, if you get a suit altered, you can, like – you start talking about they're adding on – like they're adding length to you. Like, so it makes it $30. That doesn't sound bad.
I'm just thinking about them. They're not adding.
Turnaround is the question. What is the turnaround on that $30? Is it gonna take me a week? Like, well, how long do I have to wait? Is my question.
I'll tell you what, man. I forgot my bigger point here. Shit. Shout out to Desmond Ritter, though, man. Dude, I'm rooting for you. I'm really rooting for you. I hope
he proves us wrong.
Hey, you know what? I hope you're the best quarterback in the NFC South this year.
I hope you're the best quarterback in Falcons history. Legitimately.
That'll be even better. How do you feel about Bijan wearing number 7?
I'm okay with it. I didn't understand. I'm curious as to what Koo's plan was, though. Like, I'm not mad that he has 7, but obviously they went through it, and unless somebody's already claimed 1, all the other single-digit numbers I can account for. I know who's what. And so, and I don't know who moved into Ritter's 4, but, like, I was curious. I'm
why didn't Bijan just keep his 2?
Two's off limits. It's too soon. Even if the Falcons don't retire jerseys, you come on, Lee. You know that 2 is too soon. That's too soon.
I agree. I think 2 should be retired.
It's too soon.
But I also think 7 should be retired, but that's just.
But why?
This
isn't a beat up big thing. Like, and I think that everybody's got to understand when it comes to Parlay Pete's points on Vic. Parlay Pete's a Falcons fan, so Parlay Pete loves Michael Vick too. But I also know that who's the better player when it comes to
the
quarterback.
Yeah, no, Matt Ryan's better player by far. I just think 7 should have
6 years of duty.
He sold them.
Two of them, he barely played his rookie year. He got hurt one of those years. And then you had 4 other years, 2 playoff appearances, 2 playoff wins.
Sold tickets, man.
Okay, but is this about selling tickets or is this about winning? I'm trying to understand, like, because that's the fault that we give number 2. With number two won games.
Bro, like, but I'm not one of those people. I think that
you won games and could sell tickets.
Right.
He didn't sell tickets like 7. But 2 sold tickets too because he was winning. I think why people were coming because they were good.
I think 7 elevated the franchise. Gave them a little name, gave them some give a fuck, right? Made people care about the Falcons outside of Atlanta.
Okay.
Then 2 brought a culture of winning to the Falcons that the Falcons have not seen consistently throughout their history. I think that Matt Ryan is the best Falcon. He should be the number 1 Falcon. I get that Julio Jones was a better wide receiver who's a better at wide receiver than Matt Ryan was at quarterback for the Falcons. I got it.
I get that too.
But greatest Falcon is Matt Ryan. Like,
it's not close.
Yeah.
He's an MVP. There's one MVP, guys.
Don't get me wrong. I think Julio gets in the Hall of Fame and Matt Ryan.
I think they're both in.
But I do think when it comes to just the history of the Falcons, I think Matt Ryan gets to be kind of that guy. I think he gets to be in the Ring of Honor. He gets to sit at the adult table. Anything else about the draft you want to talk about? The Eagles, Bulldogs, North.
We can talk about how Jahmyr Gibbs was a stretch. Like, he was definitely the biggest reach of the draft. The fact that, prior to Bijan getting drafted 8th, a running back, the highest a running back had been chosen since Barkley in 18 was 24th. The year prior, there were no running backs taken in the first round. So I think that was a bit of a shocker. And considering they had Jamal Williams, who led the league in touchdowns, and I had a 1,000-yard year. They obviously let him go. They signed David Montgomery to a 4-year deal. Maybe 2 of it's guaranteed or whatever, but like it was a 4-year deal. Yep. And they already had DeAndre Swift. So we knew, I guess, when they made that pick that Swift was on the outs, obviously. And of course, that's what ended up happening. The Eagles had the Texans had a very good draft too, in my opinion. I like Dell out of Houston. I like him out of Houston. I thought he was a hell of a pickup. I watched a lot of college ball too because I bet on it. And obviously, Justice is this college football guru, as he would like to be, or whatever. And I do think that, but I think that they hit for a 3rd-round wide receiver. I thought he was a hell of a pickup because he's a speedy guy. They'll have Mechie. I really liked what they did to get Will. You're not as high on Will Anderson. I really like them, but I think outside of the Texans, loved, of course, the Eagles draft. The Eagles did. I mean, they got dogs.
Well, think about it. There's not much room for many rookies to make their roster and get playing time.
Well, right. When you look at Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, both of them were damn near redshirts last year. They didn't really play like that.
Exactly.
And they're going to be football. But this year, Jordan Davis is definitely playing because Hargrave's gone. And I think Carter's playing too. I think he's playing off. Real.
I do too. Ooh, Danny DeVito's at the game. A-Rod. They ain't going to show his woman, though. She don't look better than J-Lo.
Well, a lot of women don't.
I mean, she ain't close, though. But
he screwed something harder than that, and we know it.
Huh?
He screwed something harder than that. He screwed something better than J-Lo in reality.
Oh, yeah, he's A-Rod.
You know what I mean? But think about the chicks that that dudes, especially I would imagine for those guys, but even for ourselves, there are chicks like that we did not date that were hotter than like chicks that we've dated.
Never.
Really? I have definitely had sex with women that looked better than women I've dated. But
you not see the look on my face?
Oh, I'm not talking about who you're married. I'm not talking about marriage.
No. I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, yes.
So I guess that's all I'm saying. And to that point, and we can get off of this, but I'm just saying,